Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MTB Podcast number 102. And I would like to preface this episode with the fact that the last episode was very dense with bike knowledge and bike nerdage and suspension and technical stuff from a true mountain biker, World Cup mountain bike racer, Nico Mullally. And this podcast, we're going a bit of a different direction. We have, instead of Nico as a guest, we have the Calirado kid. Calirado kid, how do you pronounce it?
Calirado kid.
Calirado kid.
In my sultry voice. I gave you my sultry voice right there. The Calirado kid.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And Jared, how you doing?
Doing fantastic. How are you?
And it's just us three, and we're gonna be a little bit lighter on the bike nerdage and more on the goofy mountain bike humor, because that is what Calirado kid Joe is known for.
It's kind of
Tell
my
us
specialty.
about yourself, Joe.
It's kind of my specialty. Actually, the truth is, like, I know a lot about bikes. I just don't want to divulge that to my fans. Like, it's really just tricking the fan base is really what I'm doing. No, so my background is interesting. It's kind of the comedic aspect. There's a couple great creators in this industry that are doing it, like Seabass, Normal Mountain Biker, Just the Maker. A couple of us are just making light of the fact that mountain biking is fun, and it's fun to get out on a bike. So it's really simple. It's just that simple. I mean, doesn't get more complicated than that.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Nicely said.
Yeah.
Nicely said. And for the listeners out there, if you aren't familiar with the Calirado kid, you will be soon, because he's on a
For better or worse.
He's on track for global famedom.
That's right.
With his, what would you call those? Funny, humorous mountain bike skit short form videos.
Yeah, I think
And some long form videos.
I think the trick has been like finding stuff that we can all relate to and putting it, just kind of over exaggerating a bit for video form. Like, so it's kind of fun in that regard, because you can take something that we all deal with, a flat tire or whatever else, and you can just kind of make the joke out of it. And everybody goes, man, I've had that happen to me before.
Totally.
I think that's really the selling point on a lot of the content that we make and I make is we've all seen it before. We've all done it before. And so when it's just bringing it to light and making fun of it. And we've all had those problems. So it's pretty fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is good. I mean, you're mostly, so YouTube, TikTok, Instagram,
Yep.
all at Calirado Kid. And just briefly looking at your YouTube channel and your shorts, 7.4 million views on You Crashed, How's the Bike?
Yeah.
6.5 million views on What Do You Do with the Old Ones?
Yeah.
And you're holding a tire.
Yep.
3.8 million views on Buying Your First Mountain Bike in 10 Years.
Yeah.
And I Caught Him Riding It. I'm not sure if I've actually seen that one.
Yeah.
2.3 million views on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This Thing Is Sensitive, 1.9 million views. I could just go on. There's
Really a lot of thought went into naming all these videos. As you can
there's
see.
a lot of short form content with millions and millions of views here.
Oh, man.
You know what's funny is I bet some people are gonna listen to this and go, I'm not actually from, I don't know who this guy is, and then they're gonna pull you up and be like, oh, I know this guy. I've seen this.
That's such an interesting point, because like a lot of the guys. Okay, so here's a funny story. I rode with a guy recently. I think it was in Whistler. Actually, we rode for about 2 days with this group of guys that were out of New York, and some of the guys knew me, some of them didn't. But it wasn't until like the second day that the guy was like, "Wait a minute, you're the guy who dressed up as the fake wife and did that video, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." You know, so it's like
I like that one.
That realization. Oftentimes, the voice, like if we're on a trail system, like people hear my voice first because I talk very loudly, so my voice travels. But yeah, it's funny. With that amount of exposure, you're bound to at least see it. If you're into mountain biking, at some point you've probably seen one of these ridiculous videos.
Yeah,
For better or worse, like I said. Yeah.
just by the data, if you add all this stuff up, you might. I mean,
That's right.
Covering half the U.S. population at this point.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Incredible reach.
incredible reach. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. Well, we've got a batch of questions for you from the
great.
listeners that we're going to go through, and then we're also going to, implore into the mind of Calirado Kid and see, I don't know, we hung out all day. We rode some bikes, and yeah, I think there's some lessons you've learned about mountain biking because you've been riding for 4 years.
Yeah.
Right?
About that. As a professional mountain biker, yes.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at, Jared?
No.
Okay, sorry.
Jared, tell them about the sarcasm. Tell the fans about the sarcasm.
He's got incredible sarcasm. I mean, it's off the charts. It's amazing. And the humor is great.
And that was sarcasm, Jared. I detected that. No, I'm just kidding. All right, sorry.
So, to clarify, you weren't a professional mountain biker? Or
No. I have no background in biking at all. Yeah, just to clarify. My background is simple, but I think what you said is we're going to get into that a little bit later. Unless you want me to talk about it right now, we'll jump right in.
No, I mean, I think I just wanted to more ask you.
Yeah.
You know, you got into mountain biking 4 years ago, and seemingly out of nowhere, you've got just all of these hilarious short form videos on all these social media platforms, and you've done a really good job at, I guess what any good comedian does is getting into something and kind of seeing these funny little nuances and behaviors and communication and things, and making these hilarious skits out of them. How did you? Is this kind of just how you felt when you walked up to your first trailhead and met some mountain bikers and started talking to people, and then you're like, man, I could really make fun of this whole situation?
No, it's funny because like the first time you go to a trailhead, you're terrified. You don't know what to expect on a trail. Like an actual riding mechanics is like, oh, I'm just gonna die. Like the first year is like, I'm probably just gonna die. But the humor stuff came in later because, as you start to see more of the mountain bike culture and you fall in love with it, you just see all those daily things that we all deal with. It's like, one of the videos I made is about like all the spare tires we keep in our garage despite never planning on using them again. Despite that, we have a giant pile of, and I thought of that because I went into my garage and I looked in there. I was like, I got this giant pile of tires. Like, and I was like, I know a bunch of people that have that. And so I made this video.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Where we're going back and forth, and the guy's like, really, the premise is like, oh man, you got all these tires. Like, he's like, are you just gonna throw them away? Like, are you crazy? They're like $90 a piece. He's like, yeah, but they're all broken, right? Like, yeah. He's like, are you gonna use them? No, but I'm keeping them. It's just that simple, and that's really what we all do. I've got plenty of tires sitting around for no reason.
Yeah, it is very true.
So do I. I mean, I got
how many tires you got there, Jared?
probably like a dozen in my garage.
It's almost half the amount of bikes you have just laying around.
Right?
I've pared the back of the bikes a little bit. Right?
You recently cleansed the bikes.
Recently cleansed a little bit.
Yeah.
Working on it.
The more I started to understand like the culture of mountain biking and the stuff we all deal with, I just thought it was fun to like bring light to it. And that evolved over time, right? The first thing I started doing was doing, long form YouTube ride videos, which is kind of where all mountain bike YouTubers seem to start. It's just, hey, let's go ride on the trail, document the trail, all that stuff. But over time, I was able to let the humor flourish and evolve it. And the short form stuff has been wildly successful because, again, it's easily consumable. If you could tell a joke in 15, 30 seconds that relates to everybody, it seems to do really well. And it's fun. It's been really good, man. It's been really good.
Yeah, no, I mean, you've done an amazing job at it. And funny enough, I was, brought you up with Brian Kennedy, BKXC.
Yeah.
I was talking to him. He's one of the partners in Trail One with us, and talking to him about you. And he's like, oh, I know Joe, Calirado Kitty. Went to high school with him. He's like a good friend of mine. I can introduce you guys. I was like, yeah, we would love to meet Joe because he is hilarious.
Yeah.
And we got to just hang out with this guy because he's funny. And
we have an ongoing gag
next
about.
Thing you know, here we are.
We're here. I made it finally, and it's funny because we've been talking about me making a road trip down here up in Northern California. I'm in Sacramento, Northern California. It's not that far, like a 6-hour drive. But we've been talking about it for a while. Finally made it work, which is awesome. This is great. We got to ride today. And we have an ongoing gag of me like name dropping Brian in my live streams and things like that. So it's like if I say Brian's name more than 3 times, we have to just start taking drinks. So I'm not going to talk about Brian at all tonight. This is it. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I guess I technically name dropped him first.
Yeah, so I only got 2 under my belt.
Yeah.
So we're good.
But 3 combined.
Yeah.
Who would you like to name drop?
Gosh. You? I know Jeff.
Yeah.
The Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jeff?
The Jeff.
One.
I don't know of another one.
I was just looking through your videos, and you got one of them that says, it's bigger than it looks, and you got those big eyeball emojis. That's one about the rock roll, right?
No, that's the tire one, right?
That one's got millions and millions.
Oh, that's
of
a good one, too.
But super relatable. And the concept is you go up to this rock roll, if it's your first rock roll ever, right? Mm-hmm. You go up to it. To you, it looks like basically the Grand Canyon. You look down this thing, you're staring down the hillside, you're like, my God, I can't imagine doing this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you finally work up the nerves to do it, and you roll down it, and you look up, you're like, oh, that was 3 feet. It was like just this tiny rock roll. And the production that goes behind that is funny and it's interesting because I find this giant rock slab that I can shoot, and then I've got to go find this tiny little rock to shoot that has the same lighting, the same angle of the sun. This is how much I dive into this that people don't realize. I spent 20 minutes riding around with all the camera gear on my back to find another rock that was similar looking and had lighting in the same direction as the sun to film the second part, which was me rolling down and looking at it and be like, huh, it looked bigger, This is what I do. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that is more thought that went into that little video.
I know. And I think maybe that's part of the reason why I've had success at it, because maybe I overthink some things. But it's been good. I don't know. I have fun doing it. So
Yeah, I will say, I mean, I noticed that you're always, a lot of the stuff you can tell is not filmed on a phone. You're using a proper camera, and then the audio is perfect. And I was like, wow.
For better or
this guy's
worse.
not messing around.
I know. I know.
There's clearly a lot of effort, put into it, and it shows. I mean, it looks good.
Yeah. We did a shoot with Paul the Punter recently, and he was helping me shoot a video. And we were out there shooting a 30-second video for 4 hours. just completely ridiculous. Was it worth it? I don't know. But yeah, anyways, it's fine. I may have overthought it.
What else could you have possibly done better with your time?
Maybe ride my bike.
Yeah, Jeff is concerned about the ROI on that.
Yeah, I know. There was not. Yeah, although that video got 2 million views on YouTube within 2 weeks, or within 1 week actually. So that's not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Pretty good.
Some potentially tangible ROI.
I'll take that. I'll take it. No.
Qualitative, quantitative. I don't know.
It's debatable.
Debatable. That's awesome.
A seating change? Oh, sorry, we're back. Joe had to do a little mic adjustment because he's not very familiar with audio equipment.
Whatever, Jeff. I blame Liam. He's had this set up the wrong way. Don't tell him I said that.
He's using Liam's mic.
Yeah. He helped me with a bike, so don't tell him I said that.
But the audio equipment was a dig because you actually do what is your title? Are you actually an audio engineer as a career?
To a certain degree. So I work in broadcast, the broadcast industry. I used to do some TV work, but mostly radio. Always been a radio engineer, and that's my current trade. So building radio stations, maintaining them, and a lot of your younger audience is going to be like, "What's a radio station?"
Yeah, I'm not actually even sure I know.
I don't blame them. But at the end of the day, it's like just building studios. Like podcast studios, actually, too, is something I've done in my spare time. It's helping people build podcast studios, and it's something that kind of fell to the wayside once I started doing the Calirado Kid page because. Like, I was actually making legitimate money at that, and I was like, I would rather go make no money and make funny videos. So I've made really a great decision, I think, on this whole endeavor. That's what I did, yeah. That's the choice I made.
That could honestly be another idea for a video is you out there filming a skit about mountain bikes, and then your fake quote-unquote wife comes out, which you've impersonated before.
I've got
acted as her?
Yeah, everybody says my wife has a great mustache because I've done a couple reels where I've got the towel wrapped over my head. And by the way, that robe,
kimono,
that's yours.
Yeah, no, this kimono that has roses all over it apparently is like a family heirloom that I'm just destroying with these stupid videos. Yeah, it's just this is what we've done with our lives. Yeah.
Oh no,
she puts up with me. Yeah,
and she could walk out and ask why you've chosen to make these mountain bike skits rather than do audio studio building and consulting.
So wait, is there ever a point where it's like Inception, where she comes out in her kimono and you're in the kimono, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm just filming a video," and then.
I don't think she would wear the kimono now for fear of that happening. Like it's really like it would just we would lock eyes and it would be about 30 minutes before we realized what happened.
Oh my god!
It's just my thought. Yeah. Yeah, but it's good. Yeah, it's so funny. Like she totally tolerates me. She gets it, and it's like there was only one time when the female like fake wife character actually came a little close to home, and she was like, "That's a little close to home, isn't it?" I was like, "No," and it was the one where it was like me setting up the idea of like going on a road trip, and you're like, "Look, honey, we're gonna have a blast on this road trip with my friends, but the truth of the matter is, I'm just really gonna miss you, And she's like, "Oh, thanks, honey, you're so sweet." He's like. No, you're sweet. Like that sort of stuff. And it's like, well, have fun and call me when you get to the hotel. Like, I will, honey, I miss you. And then she closed the door and then I start doing a celebration dance and she catches me. She's like, that's a little close to home, isn't it? I was like, no. No.
You're right on the edge there, Joe.
Right on the edge.
Ragged edge. Oh
yeah. But again, like relatable content. We've all been stoked to go on a road trip. And she's like, they want to hear that you would rather be hanging out with them. And sometimes you just want to go ride. She's going to listen to this. You guys got me in trouble.
Let's backpedal. Let's try to dig out of this hole.
Yeah, we can fix it in post.
So you kind of did answer this first listener question, which is, are you doing this creator thing full time? If so, what's the story? And if not, what's your day job? So you kind of answered that. It's not full time. It's
not
part time.
Yeah,
just the usual 4 hours for 30-second video on the weekends.
That sounds full time to me.
And then your day job has something to do with the radio.
Yeah. Yeah, building audio
AM,
studios
FM,
and monitoring and all that stuff. Again, most of the crowd here probably won't even know what a radio station is, but yeah, it's good. It's fun. I've been doing it for years. I'm good at it, and I enjoy it. So it's good. I don't have anything bad to say about it. The content creation stuff is really interesting because it's another avenue of creativity that, it's a stretch of the brain. It's a cool to think of the shots and how you can pull off and what the best way to execute a joke is. And it's engaging. Anybody that creates content kind of understand that. Or there's a lot of ways to think about it. But for me, it's a spark. And I'm always thinking about, like, I see something and how can I execute that? And now I was explaining recently, it's funny, it's kind of ridiculous, that I think in terms of shots. Like, how am I going to pull off this video? I know the joke I want to make. Now, what are the shots I need to pull it off? And so now, in my head immediately, like, all those sequences are happening. So I try to make notes of this stuff, and it helps me. But yeah, anyways, I've gone way far down the rabbit hole. Way far down the rabbit hole. One of the stories I told, by the way, last night.
Seems like you're having fun, though.
I know. It is super fun. But one of the stories I told outside Brennan recently, we were hanging out, I'm crashing at his place, is that another incredible content creator, by the way, is that, like, when I first started this, I went and I got a used Bronson because Brian, the old BKXD, there's a name drop, okay? It happens all the time. Oh. But I didn't know anything about bikes. So he was just riding a Bronson. So I was like, let me find a Bronson. To me, that's a great bike because he's riding it, right? Mm-hmm. And so anyways, I went and bought this used Bronson. I didn't know it didn't come with pedals, so I was a little frustrated. I was like, what do you mean it doesn't come with pedals? How am I going to ride the bike? So this is my knowledge of bikes getting into the mountain biking sport, all right? And so this happens, and geez, yeah, it's just all downhill from there. But I told the guys at work, I was like, look, when I get this mountain bike, I'm a little concerned because I have a bit of an addictive personality. Like, I did this with barbecue. Like, I was like, I really like barbecuing, like briskets, smoking briskets and all this stuff. So I went and bought a 1,000-pound smoker from Texas that cost $4,000. And I just, like, every weekend was smoking 80 pounds of meat, It was like, so I dove head first. And so I told them when I got this bike, I was like, man, I'm a little concerned that I might go a little too far with this. They're like, what do you mean? And here we are. Like, yeah, it's just, it's gone too far.
But I want to backpedal a little bit. What do you do with all that meat? Like, do you have parties every time?
Yeah. So it's meal prep. So like we could eat a big dinner, have family over and all that stuff. Then I'll vacuum seal ribs and brisket and all that stuff. And you just heat it up anytime. Especially when you got a family.
Jared. He's over there thinking about meat.
But like the smoker's so big that I might as well fill it up when I cook.
Oh, you have
I've already got the fire going. I'm chopping the wood. I'm throwing the wood in there. And so like I'll vacuum seal it, or just when we have a barbecue, I literally tell people like fill your plate as high as you can go and take it home with you.
Wow.
Because I don't care. Like I whatever. Like
it's brilliant.
It's just sharing. That's what it's all about.
I like the vacuum seal idea. That's great.
Yeah, it's a good idea, and it's meal prep. When you got a family, I got 2 kids, and so we got a wife, and we all work, and it's like that way during the week. You just vacuum seal it, take it out. You got dinner.
Wow.
We got sidetracked, but there it is.
Jared, what do you do with all of your extra meat?
Well, I usually eat it within like a couple days because I don't do a 80-pound brisket.
Yeah. I've done an 80-pound brisket, but I'll put like 4 briskets, so they're like 20 pounds a piece, plus 6 racks of ribs, and I'll throw hot links and stuff in there too. It's excessive.
Wow.
Yeah. I've gone too far.
I'm looking at Mike. Like, yeah.
Jared gives his meat to me.
Oh!
Sometimes I bring in my meat and I share it with the shop. Mm-hmm. Jeff loves the meat.
Yep, that is true. I do enjoy when Jared comes in with some nice fancy meats. What were those little triangles?
That was a pork belly burnt end.
Ooh, man, I've got some good pictures to show you later.
Oh,
good little thing.
Yeah.
Love to see some pictures of your meat.
We should have had a snack before the podcast, so we didn't just clearly make it obvious that we're all hungry.
Yeah, we were eating trail mix. What were we doing?
We were just hammering some trail mix before the podcast, thinking we'll just grab dinner after.
Should have just got some barbecue.
Now here we are, just talking about meat. Even I'm talking about meat, and I really don't care that much.
Yeah, you do. Don't.
I love to eat it, and I'd certainly appreciate some well cooked meat.
Did I mention I'm a vegan? Can I tell you about it? No. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, it's not true.
Oh man!
Don't worry, I gave him the warning on the sarcasm. So
okay,
you
good.
You don't have to tell him it's not true.
I'm pretty sure anybody listening has picked up on it thus far. If not, I apologize.
We were talking about Beyond Meat.
Oh, jeez.
Or Impossible Meat. Mm-hmm. They are not paid sponsors, so
yeah, let's not talk about it, man. What the hell are you doing? Don't talk about that. That's one thing I've learned as a content creator. You never talk about anything that you're not getting paid for anymore.
Yeah,
that's not true at all, actually.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're getting. Just kidding.
Speaking of sponsors, should we go to the next listener question?
Go ahead, Jared. Read it off.
What do you think is strange about Jeff, Jared, and the Worldwide Cycler crew now that you have met us in person?
What do I think is strange about you guys?
If you could just pick a couple things.
Nothing. Look at me. Like, listen to me. I'm just a maniac. So, like, to me, like, I'm as strange as it gets. So. No, it's fun. Like one of the things I talked about, one of the reasons why I'm involved with you guys is because you have a sense of humor, because you guys are producing content, you get that side of things. Like to me, that's more important than anything is people that get what I'm doing. And I'm not going to say appreciate it because you might not, but what I will say is like, I appreciate the fact that you guys know what it takes to make content, you're involved with it, and there's a face to the business. So like for me, and we talked about this earlier, like people know you guys and that's a business, but like there's other brands that I'd never seen the face of anybody that works at that place.
Yeah.
So it's cool, man. There's a personality behind the company. And, you know, even the Trail 1 stuff we talked about, like the handlebars, the grips, you guys know Brian, you know Jeff. All these things have a face to them, and you know the people involved with it. It's like, that's it. It's at face value. Like, so it's cool to me. I really appreciate that.
Awesome.
So it's not that weird at all. I'm the weird one.
Yeah, it's like takes one to know one, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm used to it. This is none of this is unusual to me.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, cool. Wow.
Awesome.
Man, you really could have that was a good layup to really just lay into us.
You could have just thrown us under the bus.
Just throwing us under the bus.
I could have, yeah.
It was a nice compliment. Thanks.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I could have. Plus, you told me to keep it PG. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Part of the reason why, you know, I like that we create content and bring value with content and also show who we are and make sure there's sort of a face and people can see who we are and who's running the brands. Because I respect that myself. Like, I like buying from other brands that I think, oh, those are good people and I relate to them and they're providing value and I see who they are and it's just transparent and relatable and I enjoy that and I enjoy like supporting brands like that myself. So I always thought, I want to make sure that the brands I'm involved with, people kind of know what's going on and it's clear and transparent what our motives are and who we are and what we care about and what our, you know, what we honor and our passions and all that sort of stuff. So
I think it resonates with people. I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it does. I really do. So it's a big thing to me. Is like seeing who's doing it. So it's cool.
Yeah. And I always, you know, saying, you know, in our various content, especially YouTube videos, that you can contact any of us on Instagram. And I'm at Jeff Caley and Jared's at Jared Beerman. And just slide into our DMs. And I always send audio replies to people. And I think they're usually pretty surprised when they get that, but also maybe nervous because they feel like maybe they have to reply back in audio.
Yeah. Have you had any awkward audio replies?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Let's roll them right now. You got it on the board over there? Let's hit. Okay. All right. No, maybe next time. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's important. I think people should know who the heck are the people running brands that they're buying from and the businesses they're working with. And yeah, it's nice. All right. Well, cool. Thanks, Joe.
There you go.
Thanks for not just throwing us under the bus.
Flattery will get me everywhere. Yeah. Is it okay if I take an e-bike home? Because I am. Okay, sorry. Let's keep going.
Gotcha. This is a perfect question for you. I'm not sure.
This is a great question.
Yeah, this is right up your alley as your self-proclaimed professional mountain bike knowledge. It says, please explain why some bikes have linear suspension linkage ratios and why some have progressive linkage ratios.
I mean, I think it's obvious. Don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's quite obvious. Like, one...
It's a politician answer. Keep going. You don't
even need to explain. Everybody knows.
Okay, look, here's the thing. I mean, like, first things first, you got to account for gravitational forces, right? And plus, if a solar flare is just going to kick up and throw your linkage out of line, you really got to account for that. So I think having... What was the question? I think having the know-withal and the fantastic knowledge that you would of linkages that it just all comes together. You know, I think the first one's better than the second one.
Yeah.
That's bike knowledge isn't my specialty, Jeff.
Yeah. That's good.
Like, realistically, again, it's so funny. Like, I do love riding bikes, but I'm not a technical person. Like, I couldn't tell you the difference between Kashima coating and non-Kashima coating, but I love riding bikes, man. And I think that resonates with people because, like, a lot of people just get on a bike and want to ride. There are the detail-oriented, and there's nothing wrong with being detail-oriented. In fact, I learn a lot listening to you guys on this podcast occasionally when I feel like doing it. But, you know... It's still like the details sometimes to me, like after about a minute of details, I'm just zoned out. So it's like, I still love riding bikes. And I think there are people that like that, which is maybe one of the reasons why my dumb content resonates with people too, is because like there's a lot of people that don't know the details too. And there's nothing wrong with that. At the very least, we can all kind of help each other learn. Yeah. And like, I'm learning one day at a time. Usually by internet trolls just coming right after me. Yeah. When I say something wrong in a video, that's how I learn everything I've known about mountain biking. Just like, people calling me an idiot, and I love it. I love new knowledge.
Yeah, wherever it comes from.
Yeah, I'm
It's
like
helpful.
a learning center of educational tude.
Mountain
Yeah,
biking, the mountain bike itself is a pretty complicated piece of equipment, but you get the right shop, you get the right friends, you can get on the thing and have a great time, and you don't need to know anything and everything about it.
Yeah.
But if you want to, it's also a really fun sport when you become an enthusiast and you slowly go down the path of bike nerdage and learn more and more about it. It's pretty fun and entertaining, and doesn't really ever end because it's kind of endlessly complex in that way. Which
It
is
really
fun.
is. It really is. Think about like if somebody asked you to describe like a wheel to someone, like a wheel set. Like
Yeah,
how
somebody
many
knows,
things
like-
would you have
yeah.
to describe to someone to describe a simple wheel set, right?
Yeah.
Think about it for a second. Like how many objects, spokes, rims, tubeless tire setups, tires,
Hubs.
pressure,
Did you say hubs?
all these things, like there's so many elements, like how many spokes? Like there's so many elements just to a wheel set. It's like, man, have we gone too far? So like not everybody knows that stuff. It is a lot. I remember when I was getting a custom wheel set built, they were like, okay, how many spokes do you want? I'm like, wait, there's different levels. You can get different numbers of spokes. So
And what's the point of that?
I'd like to apologize to everybody in advance listening to this podcast here because, yeah, I'm certainly not the most knowledgeable guy when it comes to bike parts, but I think there's a big audience that doesn't know that too. So it's
Yeah.
like, at the very least, I could be their ambassador. I don't know, but it's complicated, and that's just a wheel set, and then you apply everything else. There's a lot. So having people explain that and not be upset about the fact that someone doesn't know is really important.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys provide a lot of good content like that. I don't want to flatter you guys all night long. This is probably the last compliment I'm going to deliver. But, we talk about the idea of evergreen content, like actual information that's digestible and entertaining. And doing that is hard. There's only a few content creators that can do it well. So it's cool. And there's people like me that need it because I just don't know.
Well, I mean, not everybody's born with a wealth of bike knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has a place where they start, and
Yep.
everybody has a certain, place down that rabbit hole they go,
Yep.
and that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, that is well said, Jared.
Thank
well
you.
said.
It's true.
Appreciate it.
Very eloquent.
Thank you.
Well done. I think he needs more whiskey. All right, sorry.
Oh, that is nice. This next question might be... Oh, it's actually kind of related to the question after that, too. So this one is... I think we should ask these in a different order. So the first question
Okay.
is, how often do you get mistaken for Jason Sudeikis, a.k.a. Ted Lasso?
Oh, my God. You know what? Funny, in person, not so much. On the internet, quite a bit. And here's the front runners, okay, on people that I get confused with. Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Do you have the same mustache, same...
Kind of dad jokes.
I
It's
can't
quite-
even discern between
Yeah.
the two, to be
Yeah.
honest.
There's also, God, what's the actor's name from My Name is Earl?
Oh.
I get that.
I know
quite
the
a
guy
bit.
you're talking about.
Yep, Earl from My Name is Earl.
Yeah, I can see
and
that.
in a certain number of videos, Lalo Salamanca from Better Call Saul. Those are the front runners of the people that like constantly pop up as an alert comes in. They're like, "Is that Lalo Salamanca riding a bike?" Like, or is that like My Name is Earl? Yeah,
Jason Lee is
Jason Lee.
Earl Hickey.
Jason Lee. Yeah.
My name is Earl.
Those are the front runners. And I actually held a contest once, not a contest, but like a poll on Instagram once. And I think Ted Lasso won out.
Oh, who you look like the most?
Yeah.
I think I could see that.
I don't know
the
why I
most.
didn't dress up as Ted Lasso for Halloween.
I was
It
just
would've been
going
a
to
slam
actually
dunk.
ask you
Yeah.
if you did that.
I should have.
Well, so, okay, idea for
This
next
is
year.
just funny pulling up pictures of Ted Lasso and looking at you.
It's 100% like Dead Ringer, right?
I know.
mean, he is him.
Doppelganger.
Here's the participation time for the audience. You guys go search it right now, and you tell Worldwide Cycler, you DM him or whatever, and you say, is it Ted Lasso? Is it the guy from My Name is Earl? Or is it Lalo Salamanca?
Yeah.
I see Ted Lasso now.
You know what you could even do is you could probably show up to the filming of the next episode
Just show up.
and be like,
just walk in there
where's
like
my
you own the
trailer?
place.
You know what it is? I'll be a stunt double.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Just tell him you're Ted Lasso's stunt double. Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis.
Brilliant.
You would
Jason
probably say that.
Yeah, tell him you're Ted Lasso's.
I'm Ted Lasso's
they'll be
stunt double.
they'll be like,
You mean Jason? Yeah.
Get out of here, guy.
Get out of here. Get out of here, kid. You bother me. That's the Calirado kid.
The
Oh, that's
Calirado
great.
kid. So
You wanna-
what's...
You're going to go back to the
Oh,
the
yeah,
question?
that's right. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
related. I missed that one.
Well, how many chicks have slid into your DMs over the years?
Oh my god. None. Like so.
Welcome to the mountain bike industry.
Why's listening? All right, no, seriously, none. Like it's so funny. Like I'm a big fan of getting more women on the trail. Okay, that sounds inappropriate. Let me back this up. Okay. So one of the things, like, I know there's been a lot of talk about like bro culture within mountain biking and stuff like that. Like, that's never been something that I've had to deal with. A lot of the stuff that I deal with is very like, just inclusive. Let's all hang out. Let's go ride.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun trails. And so like, I think of it as a very positive thing to get more people involved in mountain biking.
Agreed.
And it's so cool. And seeing creators like Jess the Maker, and there's a bunch of creators, I'm blanking right now, but like seeing that come about and bringing more women into the sport that is rad and is one of my favorite things to do, get outdoors, be on the bike, it can only mean good things, man. And I hope some of the bros can behave themselves. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure that women do slide into DMs.
No, not for me. No, it's fun talking to audience. Like
Maybe if you're Ryan Reynolds or something.
yeah,
Or Zach.
or Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach.
Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why what question is this, Jared? It just says cheese.
Oh, yeah.
question
That's
mark.
just a one-word question. Is cheese, question mark? I assume they're asking you what kind of cheese you like. Or if you eat it.
Parmesan's the best because you can put Parmesan on pasta and you can grate it, fresh Parmesan,
Yeah.
and that's the best.
Nice.
I disagree.
What are you thinking, Gouda?
Well, no, I've recently
Swiss.
become a fan of goat cheese.
Ooh,
you know
goat
what the
cheese
problem?
is good.
You know what the problem is with that? I once had a pet goat, and goat cheese tastes like how goats smelt.
Oh, no.
That's exactly what goat cheese is to me. We had a pet goat, and when you eat goat cheese, it tastes like he smelt.
Oh, man. That's like, once you see how sausage is made,
Yeah.
all you want to do is eat sausage.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I just
What did you say to me?
you got that backwards, Jared.
Is that a euphemism? I don't know. Wow. Metaphor?
I've been to a few not serious like factory farms, but I've been to a few sort of small scale farms, and the more I get close to animals and farms, it's just just not really appetizing across the board. Anything.
Yeah. That being said, like I have no problem eating goat cheese, but it's like it's just there's a little bit of that in there.
So what about like the ones with like the blueberries like mixed into it,
Fancy cheese.
Those are good.
Yeah.
What about like a nice sharp cheddar?
Yeah, I do like cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a vintage sharp cheddar.
Yeah, I don't have any dice in this conversation.
No horse in this race.
I got
Let's move
no
on.
horse in this race.
Great question.
I could
Or
really
the
just
next
go
day.
deep into
Or
that
the next
cheese.
question.
Yeah.
All right. Top 5 mustaches of all time.
My God. Tom Selleck's got to be at the top of the list.
Ooh, yeah.
And what's the guy's
he's iconic.
Sam Elliott from Tombstone is probably the greatest voice in voiceover history and acting history, but he's got a pretty incredible mustache. And after that, it just falls off a cliff. I mean, there's nobody even close. So that's all I can say. There's probably more.
What's that one NASCAR racer? He had a great mustache. Oh, they all have great mustaches, don't
Never
they?
been a NASCAR guy.
Richard Petty, is that who I'm thinking of?
That's a good question. Dale Earnhardt.
Richard Petty's got a hell of a mustache. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good mustache. All right, we're
Yeah.
going to put him in there. I've given my top 2, and that's
say
as many
Dale Earnhardt?
mustaches as I know.
We got Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, Tom Selleck, you're right. I think he is up there.
Yeah, it's good.
Gosh. What about
That's probably good. Yeah, that's
well,
I
we
think
got
we've
one
done
more. Pablo Escobar.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty decent. Now we're just throwing straws, though. I mean, I really have to do some research on this. If only you guys had asked me to be prepared, which you did, but I didn't. It's fine. We'll keep moving. Yeah.
We'll keep it moving.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to be prepared for the next question.
No.
No, certainly not. But a little bit of research wouldn't help.
Sure.
Or it wouldn't hurt.
Sure.
Is farting like yawning where once someone starts, it becomes contagious?
No, I can confirm that. I've seen it happen on a trail before. A yawn just works its way through the crowd. But
Weird how that works.
yeah, a fart will spread the crowd. So
Yeah.
it's quite the opposite
Wow,
effect.
that's true. And
Yeah.
somewhat prophetic as well.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is even if someone like opens their mouth like they're going to yawn, like
Yeah.
sometimes that's enough to trigger it.
You can fake trigger a mass exodus of yawning. Yeah.
Good.
I feel like I need to know the usernames of who asked this, and whether they're your fans or my fans, because I'm going to find this out. And I'm going to I expect my fans to ask very classy questions.
Oh,
That's not true. That's not
speaking
true at all.
Are you saying these questions aren't classy? Or
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Speaking of classy questions, how do you take your bib off when you need to poop?
Oh, who wears a bib?
Well, who doesn't?
No, I have a taint of steel. No, I don't wear a bib. I don't wear a chamois. On big rides, maybe like big, massive rides in Colorado, sure. But I don't think I've ever worn a bib. Is that the one you put over your shoulders? Like,
oh yeah.
you don't wear a
trousers?
chamois though?
No,
No chamois.
nope.
Do you ever ride more than 15 miles? Or
What are you trying to say, Jeff?
Or do you ever
I told you I was a pro mountain biker.
Or do you ever ride 10 miles a day for 4 days in a row or more?
No.
I
have.
I don't really need a chamois then.
I have, but no, my riding schedule is so hard because one, just work and family. It takes a lot of time. A lot of time. So, and then there's those occasional road trips where I will just be out every day. When I did a Whistler road trip, I'm riding every day. But it's just proper conditioning, I guess, is really what it was. Just grit, very coarse grit sandpaper. It will really condition the regions you need.
It's like when you play guitar a lot and the tips of your fingers get calloused.
Exactly right.
Yeah, just like sandpaper on your
booty.
taint.
Exactly right. Yeah. So I've never worn a bib, to answer your question.
Wow.
Great visual.
So I can't relate.
So then it's pretty easy for you to go poop.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. I'm going to reprimand my audience. That's what's going to happen.
All right.
That's
fair.
This podcast content is definitely different than normal.
Yeah.
And
Did anybody
higher
ask
on
about
the laughs and less on the practical, useful bike knowledge.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
You could.
you're right.
Here's what I know. The one question you asked about bike parts, that was your audience. There wasn't my audience.
That was actually from FBI Matt.
The linkage ratio one?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
way.
I thought that you told him to ask that because he put your initials afterwards. Like it was some sort of signature.
Are there any questions that aren't about farts or poop? Can we just
and that is the end of the episode.
You don't want to ask about my childhood and how good it went? Are we deep diving or what are we doing?
Jeez. Oh man. Well, this one is actually not about poop or your childhood.
Okay, good.
That's good.
What is in your head, ultimate bike quiver of 3 bikes? What 3 bikes would you pick?
That's actually a good question.
That is a good question because, really, 3 is a good number.
So, okay. You need a high travel bike. All right. You need a high travel bike for riding gnarly stuff. So you're doing park
Long
days.
travel?
Yep. Long travel, high travel.
You can't say high travel?
Not
Why?
really.
Wait, why can't you say high travel
Long or
versus
short?
Wait, what?
Long travel or short travel?
Okay. Long travel bike.
Yeah.
I would say, okay, so a long travel bike, right,
you
for
go.
park days, for gnarly stuff.
All right.
Can we use
Yeah.
the term gnarly? Is that appropriate?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, sweet. And then I would say,
I just want to correct his lingo a little.
I know, this is what I'm here
That's
for.
okay.
This is exactly what happens.
Just trying to be
This-
helpful.
this is
We're
the
all
only way to
learning.
learn. This is the only way to learn. And
Yeah.
then you've got your low travel bike. Wait.
Short.
Short travel bike.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that way you can ride your normal XC stuff,
Yep.
which stands for cross country. I like to establish that here. And then it's arguable that an e-bike needs to be in there. I think at this point an e-bike needs to be in there, and that's going to be controversial.
Hot take
It's going to be
from
controversial.
Calirado Kid.
Yeah, Calirado Kid says e-bikes are a quiver bike.
What kind
or
of
something.
travel do you
Cancel.
want? On that?
I
You
got
want
your
like a
hand
long travel, big battery e-bike or a
I
Ooh.
think now
mid travel?
Here's my
short,
here's my take on the scenario. Okay, for me, the ultimate use of an e-bike, because I don't mind it on the daily trails, especially when you guys have these cool trails where you can go up there and just session these quick rippable trails. That's super cool. I love the idea of that. It's so rad. So that's hard to say. But for my rides with the time frames that I have, I would love the big battery, the high travel.
Long.
Long travel. Okay, the long travel. Look, I'm great at this. Don't worry, I'll pick it up. Long travel, because what I want to do is I want to go in the back country.
Why do you want the big battery though? You're going over.
Well, he's explaining right now.
Yeah.
What I want to do, and I love doing this. Every year we'll go rent an e-bike in Downeyville, and we'll go on these backcountry rides that are 35, 40 miles, 6,000 to 7,000 feet of climbing, just these crazy adventures.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I like adventure riding more than anything else. And I like doing park days; those are fun. I like doing that. But whatever, adventure rides are my favorite thing in the world. One, seeing something I've never seen, but two, getting into trouble. And those backcountry rides where they're not quite trimmed right. There's thorns hitting you in the face. It's just this crazy adventure. To me, that's the best thing in the world.
That's some of the funnest stuff in the sport of mountain biking.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly
I
what
love
you described.
I absolutely love it, and I don't get enough of it in my life. It's hard to make the time for those big trips and all that stuff. But when they come, man, that's what I would want a massive battery for, and a long travel. I was going to say hi again. I got it. Okay, third time's a charm. long travel, just because you don't know what you're going to get into.
Yeah, yeah.
And that idea excites me. The idea of like the battery running out and you're stranded, like just crazy, like everything's going wrong. A bear's about to attack you. You punch it right in the face. Like that's the kind of stuff I want. But that's not going to happen. So,
well, you want the battery to die and get attacked by a bear?
I don't know. Maybe a solar panel. We can engineer something. Imagine the adventure you have. Like if you engineered a solar panel to tie in and like, I don't know.
Like Elon.
It's just not going to happen. Yeah. But I like that idea. And like to me, some of the biggest and funnest rides I've had is just like these, I don't know what I'm getting into. And so it's just not your normal trail ride, right?
Yeah.
That's what I see is like the most usable thing for me. I would love to do that. More of that.
Nice.
But it's time, that takes time.
Yeah.
Like if
A little
like you're
less
talking
time
about
on an e-bike.
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like you're talking about doing like bikepacking trips and it's like that takes time.
Yeah.
Like especially if you're going to do multi-day trips, like that's a weekend and that's time away from the family. So I have to plan all that stuff because it's not fair to them that I just take off every weekend and ride bikes. So all those things come into play. But I like the idea of that. I really do. And I don't quite know where the gravel bike fits into this whole situation because I haven't done a gravel bike ride. So I don't know. Like
it might not count. Well, that's just like an extra bike.
Yeah, so those are my
You
3
already
bikes.
did name your 3 bikes.
Those are my 3 bikes.
Yeah. So full circle, long travel e-bike, long travel pedal bike for bike park, gnarly stuff, and a short travel XC or trail bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
XC Trail.
XC slash trail.
What are your 3? What's your 3 bike quiver?
I'll tell you. Well, so my dream one or my current one?
No, your dream one.
Okay. I do love having a gravel bike that like doubles as a road bike just because I like to do that every once in a while. Yeah, short travel bike and long travel bike. I think that's
How
pretty
long
much
travel? We're talking downhill bike or are you talking
Oh, I'm
60
talking just like
enduro bike?
a 160, 170 enduro bike. And or just a trail bike. I don't think it needs to be a cross country bike. Or like that 120, 130, 140 maybe range. I don't know.
Can I tell you guys a story?
The lines blur so much. Yeah,
Can I tell you guys a
please.
story?
Yeah.
I've only had one bike for the last 4 years. And I've managed to create an empire.
You're Yeti.
It's comical. It's comical. It's like I've had my SB 5.5, and that's the only bike I've had for the last 4 years. It's ridiculous.
Jeff is just like, man, how does he do
I've
it?
only had one bike for the last 5 years.
What do you have, like 80,000 bikes?
I've got a few.
Well, Jeff, what's your 3 bike quiver?
That's such a hard 3. Well, the
gonna
short
be all
answer is
night.
3 is not enough. That's,
Okay, and this
that's limiting,
Yeah.
and I feel confined with that question.
in this
Put me in a jail
in
cell.
this messed up confined universe where you have to have 3 bikes. I'm gonna make you pick 3.
You're on an island.
Yeah, and you can only bring 3 bikes with you onto
And
this
Tom Hanks.
onto this island, which may have the perfect
Yeah.
mix of trails for all 3 bikes.
Yeah.
What are they going to be?
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm in between.
Yeah.
Sort of your light trail bike, 115, 120 mile travel, 29er. That's you got to have that. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm not getting rid of that no matter what.
Yeah.
And so I'm in between and I think a downhill bike.
Ooh.
Just like a full-blown downhill bike for going to Whistler, going to bike parks.
Yeah.
As impractical as they are,
You're
going
going
to
to sacrifice one of your bikes for an impractical bike.
Well, so here's the thing, and then the third bike could be what I consider a gravel bike.
Yeah,
which is
your
like
flat handlebar,
my salsa cutthroat that I have, flat handlebars
full
on
rigid.
and a dropper post, but still full rigid and ultra lightweight.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, those 3 bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So full rigid, quasi gravel mountain bike, short travel, trail bikey,
Mm-hmm.
and then a full blown downhill bike. But I'm also thinking maybe I'll sacrifice the downhill bike for a 150 mil travel enduro bike.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because when you go to a bike park and you ride the gnarly stuff, it's just so much more fun on a full-fledged downhill bike.
But what if this island
But I
that
don't
you're
go to
stranded
bike
on
parks very often.
has trails you want to be able to pedal to the top
And there's
of?
no chairlift on this island. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
So that's where your
No,
enduro bike.
That's why 3 is not enough. Give me 4.
All right.
I'm in.
Well,
Okay, if we're
all
going
right.
to talk like real bike stuff, how would you... Okay, so for example, modern mountain bikes that are enduro bikes, right, versus downhill bikes.
Yeah.
they're pretty capable at a bike park these
They
days.
100% are.
Yeah.
I totally agree, and I fully understand why people can take 150, 160, 170 mil travel bike,
Yeah.
ride it at the bike park, and be like, this thing's as good as a downhill bike.
Yeah.
And in many ways it is, but I still would like to, nudge you to say, okay, but also compare it back to back with a full-fledged 8-inch travel downhill bike with
Yeah.
a dual crown fork.
Yeah.
Because there is still a difference.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why World Cup downhill racers obviously still race
Yeah,
downhill
why they're
bikes.
not riding enduro bikes.
They're not riding enduro bikes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So you're right that can it accomplish all of the same stuff? Absolutely. But it doesn't accomplish it in the perfect way.
I guess
the
we
same
could
way.
say, we could say that they're capable, but not the perfect solution for the problem.
Right.
Right? Having the right gear for what you're doing is important.
Yeah, and
Right.
they're infinitely more capable than they ever have been.
Yeah, exactly,
Even
yeah.
3, 4, 5 years ago, they were not even close to what a downhill bike can do now. And now they're like right next to it, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's why downhill bike sales have fallen off a cliff in the last 10 years because,
The emergence of enduro bikes, right?
yeah. I mean, if you think about it, it makes so much more practical sense to have a 150, 160 mil travel enduro bike and not have a downhill bike anymore. And then you just ride your enduro bike anytime you ever go to a bike park and people are, grinning ear to ear, smiling. So,
Would you say it's a bit like starting a fire with a lighter versus a flamethrower? Or is that a stretch? That's a stretch, isn't it? I'm just making stuff up. Yeah, sorry. Okay, sorry. We'll keep moving on. Yeah,
I mean, I like the
yeah.
idea.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
I'd love to have a flamethrower.
Bring a flamethrower to the bike park.
Yeah.
Now we're going to sell tons of downhill bikes, guys. Let's do it.
Yeah.
are you looking for a sales job? You're doing great.
Yeah, I got competition now. Who do we ride with today?
Zach.
Imagine a customer walking into a store. Yeah, so I'm looking for a bike. Are you looking for a flamethrower?
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
one right over here.
Zach said he was selling all kinds of bikes. I'm like, now I want to sell more bikes. Like, I don't even sell bikes. Let's go. I have this natural competition in me. By the way, it's crazy.
Oh man, this is an interesting question, but it was asked, so we're going to ask it. It's what is the circumference of your head?
Perhaps in centimeters.
Wait, what?
It's written right here.
Like, my brain is so
Somebody
huge.
asked
It's immeasurable.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. That's all we need to say about this question right here. It's immeasurable.
Someone was interested enough where they really just want to know the number. What is it?
There are so many bad jokes in my head. It's immeasurable. This is one from your crowd, by the way. Definitely the detail-oriented questions, your crowd. Okay,
All right.
let's move on.
All right.
Oh, you want to answer
This is a pretty good one, yeah. Scale of 1 to 10, how embarrassed are your kids when you use internet slang?
What do you mean internet slang?
Or
Like-
modern day slang.
Like sus? Like this is sus?
Oh, yeah. That's perfect.
You know what? Like they're...
Or even when you tell them you're going out to film TikTok.
You know what? It's so funny, man. Like I'm a YouTuber, so I don't get shunned. But my kids love it. They want to be featured in videos so bad. But it's really like, as a parent, it's kind of your responsibility to determine, like, is it appropriate to put your kids in front of the public eye?
Yeah.
Right now it's just background stuff. Occasionally they'll shoot something. They'll be in the corner of the frame or something like that, and they'll help me. But I'm very conscious, and we always have been, about like having our kids featured in a video. And they don't know how to deal with that. Like, so for example, like if they're getting older now, but if they were to be featured, they started their own channel or something, right? How would they deal with somebody telling them that they're just like complete crap? An anonymous person, to me, I have no problem with that. I get it all the time. Like, I'm grown up enough to understand what that means. But for them, they might take that personally. It might weigh on them. It's like, this is a new world we live in. I don't know how to weigh all that stuff. I'm learning. I'm a parent,
Yeah,
but like
that's a crazy challenge
Yeah.
that parents are
It's
up
so
against
tricky.
right now. Is social media and their kids.
Yeah, and most
for
parents
sure.
most parents are flying by the seat of their pants as it is, so I don't know the right answer. Maybe the right answer is getting them involved and having them more involved in the channel and stuff. But no, they're not cringed by what I do. They really like what I do. They watch my videos on repeat. I've been in the public situations where, like, my dad's the Calirado kid. I'm like, don't tell anybody. It's not the right place for this. Because, it doesn't matter to most general people. It's a very specific audience. But, how do you kind of, I don't know. It's a weird space. And
Yeah.
I'm learning as I go.
It's a tough balance to strike.
Yeah, but my kids really dig it. They're really stoked
Nice.
on it. And I try to include them occasionally, but sparingly.
Do they think you're funny, or
they know
they
I'm
just
funny, Jeff.
like you because you're their dad?
They know I'm funny. All right?
I mean,
No, I get there's a one point when your kids are growing up where they're like, "Oh, Dad's the funniest," and then now my daughter's just, of course, she turned 7. She's like, "Oh my God, Dad!" I'm like, already. I thought that was gonna happen at like 13, 14 teenager years or whatever, right? Like, nah, she's already like, "Oh my God, Dad." You know, like, Dad. I'm like, wow, we're there already?
Dad.
Okay. It's partially my fault. My jokes are bad, but what are you going to do?
Oh, that's great.
They're dad jokes.
Yeah.
But you know what makes sense is that you are a dad of
Yeah.
two, so your dad jokes, it all just ties together. It's fine.
It's stuff that I say on a
not
regular
as
basis.
strange as Jared, for example, who just cracks dad jokes left, right, and center. No kids.
Yeah.
No kids, but
No kids.
Yeah.
Fantastic
I've-
dad joke teller.
evolved
Amazing.
to my final form already.
Amazing.
Which is
You
shocking.
could write a little short form book called "The Best Dad Jokes from a Guy Who Has Yet to Have Kids."
Wow.
And the restraining order will come really fast. I imagine the picture of the book is like you with like binoculars looking at a school. All right, sorry, that's where my mind goes. Sorry. Yeah,
No, that's fine. I love
we're
it.
on track. We're good.
That was great.
Dad jokes are fantastic,
Yeah.
Jared.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And I'm just trying to, live up to,
One of my favorite dad jokes of Jared was it was in our trending mountain bike products of March or April.
gosh, good memory.
2022, and we're trying to think. Oh, let's make like a funny intro for this YouTube video, like we usually do, and we come up with the idea. Well, Jared does of.
Was that what it was like? Are you tired of?
Oh, it was at the end of spring, and
Yeah.
it was, "Are you tired?" And when you said tire, you like lifted up a tire. As I said, "Are you
Yes.
tired?" And then you said of spring, and then you like held up an orange fox rear shock spring, and then and it was like tired of spring. Well, now it's summertime. It was like something like that.
something ridiculous like that.
It's the most
Probably people just
unbelievable
stopped watching right there.
YouTube dad
Yes.
skit I've ever been involved
Don't look at
in.
the analytics. It dropped off right there. Trust me, I know. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's funny how some people like totally love, even if like it makes them cringe. They're like, "Oh, that was great," and then some are just like, "That was horrible. You guys are awful. It's not the funny thing at all."
It's the nature of the beast. Like if we can get philosophical for a moment, like it's interesting because like I've always been a big proponent of like I like that people have different opinions and thoughts and things like
Yeah.
that. So I try to teach this to my kids. I'm like, man, like just realize that like it's okay that somebody different than you, like say for example, let's take a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that movie. I didn't like that movie. Well, you're stupid because you didn't like that movie. Like, or right? Versus like, hey, what'd you like about the movie? Like,
Yeah.
okay, let's talk about like I didn't really like it that much. Well, why did you like it? Like,
Yeah.
we don't do that. It's like it's
Yes, civil
it's too
discourse.
Yeah,
where
it's-
you can have a rational conversation where
Yeah.
you can have a different opinion and hold two contrarian thoughts in your head simultaneously.
I know. I try to instill in them that it's cool, like when people have different views, because that's how you learn. Like, hey, I've never even thought
Yeah.
about that. Like, let's talk. Like, what? Like, so, yeah, it's a weird world we live in. And so, like, when people appreciate dad jokes and the people that will just call me cringy, like, I don't care either way. Like, everybody has their own opinions.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
None of it offends me. It's fine. It's all good.
Has there ever been a video that you made that you thought, oh, this is going to be a banger, and turned out nobody really liked? Like, the algorithms didn't like it.
I don't know that I've had one that I thought was going to be a banger per se, but ones that I really enjoyed making that I thought was fun. Like, and I still do. Like, there's some of my favorite videos are the ones that get the least amount of views because it's a weird creative vision that people don't get. And like, and I don't have a problem with that at all. Like, it doesn't resonate. Like, and that's totally fine. Like, I did one where I was like in the Las Vegas desert, like hallucinating that I couldn't pedal anymore. Like, I was so
Oh,
tired.
that was a great one.
Yeah, and it
Love that one.
That was,
Yeah.
I could see why some people would be like, I don't get it.
It's totally different because it's like a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas reference. I got a wide angle lens. I'm
Yeah.
really like dazed in the desert, and I'm
Yeah.
like, is that an e-bike? You know, I'm just dazed
I
and
remember.
confused, and I like stumble up to it. And I'm like, wait a minute, and I realize it's like an Oasis. It's not an e-bike. It's a regular bike.
Yeah.
And so a general audience definitely doesn't get that because you guys know there's a motor versus not a motor.
Yeah.
So it was an inside joke to a certain degree, but I really like making it. And that's the best part is having your own channel. I can make stupid stuff and things that I enjoy and also stuff that I think that other people will enjoy. Like there's no right answer. And so like there's ones that I thought maybe would resonate more. But like to me, I'm still proud that I made it. And the benefit of making short form content is that you can churn one out and there's production value, there's time that goes into it and thought that goes into it. But then you could just make another one.
Yeah.
So
totally.
one thing it's helped me do is originally when I started YouTube, I was very invested in a video. Like I would spend a lot of time editing the video, thumbnail, title, screw that all up and release it. And then I was so mentally invested in the performance of that video that it would stress me out to a certain degree, right?
Yeah.
Like where you're like, oh man, nobody's watching it. Like,
Yeah, it becomes unhealthy to
Yeah.
put your self-worth into your YouTube views.
yes.
Yeah.
And so the benefit of transitioning to short form and now, of course, long form on YouTube as well, or should I say high travel form on YouTube. is
Long travel form.
High form.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. All right, so the benefit has been like the short form stuff has kind of eliminated that out of my life. Like now I just put stuff out and I'm proud that I made it and I move on to the next thing, and it's far less stressful and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Full acceptance of the outcome. Regardless.
Yeah, I just don't care. Like I'm stoked that people dig it and relate to it, but it's like it doesn't stress me out anymore, which has been very freeing to a certain degree. I really like that. It's been nice.
It's like if
really
one
nice.
person likes it made it all worth it.
It's one less thing to worry about.
Even if it's yourself.
Yeah, just have fun making it. Yeah, exactly.
Or your mom.
Yeah. My mom likes it like 300,000 times.
Yeah.
I do have some videos on YouTube that have like 300,000 likes. It's incredible. It's like, what the hell?
It's awesome.
300,000 plus? Like, what?
Right?
Who would have thought?
Who are all these bots?
Yeah, who are all these Russian bots? Dos vidanya. Yeah.
All right, Joe, we got to address one last question here before we go. And I actually don't know the answer to this question. Oh, wait, I think I do. Are you from Cali and now live in Rado, or are you from Rado and now live in Cali?
That's a good question. So I originally grew up in California, and there was at one point in my pro mountain biking career that I moved to Colorado. Okay, that's not true.
Air quotes, pro mountain
air
biking
quotes,
career.
air quotes, yeah. Actually, yeah, I wasn't even mountain biking at the time. So I grew up in California. I moved to Colorado for a couple years, and then I came back to California. So right now I'm in Northern California. But, you know, to me, during that transition, that's when our son was born. So the backstory is, like, we used to kind of jokingly call him the Calirado kid because he was born between the move, basically, California and Colorado. So as I was thinking of names for the channel, like, a bunch of stuff came in, and that was, like, it was just the front runner. It's just catchy as hell, man. It's funny.
So you stole your kid's name? Your son's name?
I gave him the name. I could take it back. All right? Yeah. So that was like the inspiration, but like to me, it's like it's too damn catchy, man. It's good, and it makes a lot of sense. And it's funny because like that stems like when you have basically like a performance name to a certain degree. Like people don't know my name's Joe. Like a lot of people will be like, "Hey, Calirado." Like I get recognized all the time, right? But like they don't know my name. I say it sparingly in videos because most of my videos, some of them I don't even talk, right? So. It's interesting, and there's some creators that have their full name on display, so everybody knows, like Dustin Klein. Everybody knows who Dustin Klein is, but like, yeah, when they just call me Calirado, so it's stuck. There it is.
Who is Dustin
I just
Klein?
wanted to tell you guys I'm world famous, and I get
I don't know
recognized.
who Dustin Klein is either.
Yeah.
Did you?
He's incredible, man. He's got a great style. He was an inspiration to the start of the channel too. Like some of his camera angles and stuff that he does it's really cool. And it's different. It's there's a lot of people just doing POV footage. What you've got is style in his videos, different music, all this stuff, and it's just a very creative atmosphere. The stuff that he creates is really fun to me.
Nice.
Dustin Klein, Vice President, the Charters Lodging Group.
No, that's different. Yeah, totally different. Yeah. But one of the things I really appreciate, and I've always on the lookout for, I told you guys this today, is like creators that are standing out and doing something different. And how can I help? Like I love the idea of scouting like talent and like seeing people pushing the boundaries of what we're doing. And it's cool, man. I love the idea that people are stretching their creative bounds. To me, it's been very rewarding. I love people finding that. Like, I wouldn't consider myself an incredible success. Like, I would say that I'm still working at it. I'm still learning every day. But it's cool to see people trying. And it's like, okay, well, if I see that element of trying, like, how can I help? Like, what can I do? Like, can I give you some tips?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I like the idea of more people creating cool content. That's all. I think more than anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Nice.
I think as long as you are enjoying it and other people are enjoying it, then I would call it successful.
Yeah. I've been lucky so far. 80% luck, 19% talent, and 1% mustache.
I would increase the percentage of mustache.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely 73% mustache. I
Yeah.
should have rethought that number.
Yeah.
Increase the percentage of
Yeah.
social media algorithm.
We can go back to the analytics.
That's
and,
right. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, also known as AKA Calirado Kid,
Yeah.
where can people reach you if they want to ask you other questions? Just slide into your DMs?
Yeah, I'm pretty receptive. Like a lot of people reach out on DMs, and I do message people back. Like I think that's one of the funnest things, and one of the side effects of this whole process has been like meeting people from all across the world and talking to them and getting new perspectives and meeting new people, and it's been cool. So like on Instagram, it's just Calirado Kid. And it's funny because the spelling's pretty straightforward. It's Cali, like California, and Rado, like Colorado. So Calirado Kid. I don't promote TikTok that much. It sounds like I'm too old for TikTok, so I don't say that much.
Oh, dude, your TikTok's blowing up.
It's doing good. It's like, yeah, it's doing fine. And then YouTube, of course, it's just Calirado Kid there as well. But Instagram's the most direct way to reach out. And I usually try to message people back if I can, and it's a good discourse. It's a good way to talk real time with people. Whereas YouTube doesn't have that. You'll leave a comment and I can leave a comment back, but it's not like a real time
Doesn't work.
conversation.
Yeah.
So usually if people take the time to reach out and tell me like they're digging what I'm doing or they have a trail suggestion and stuff like that, like I usually respond back. Like, it's cool. Like, that's how I got through Galbraith. When I went up to the road trip to Canada, like I had people show me around outside of Seattle. I had people show me around in Galbraith, and that was so helpful for me because just sitting around looking at a map bores the hell out of me.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, having people like, hey, let me show you these trails. I'm like, man, that just took a weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
I don't have to check every stop, like every split in the road. I got to check trail forks. Like,
show you the goods.
yeah, show me the goods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let me show you this trail that nobody knows about. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's
I'm going to take you back into the woods where nobody will find you.
It's so good. Yeah.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Yeah. Real fast. Thanks, Jared. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Now you're getting into it.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Man, we need to go eat some food.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's all for this episode of the MTB Podcast. Thank you very much for listening. If you've listened to this long, we love you. We would really appreciate a review on Apple Podcast app if you would like to do that.
Oh.
Might be the first time I've asked that.
Oh, maybe.
One time I said, rate us where you like
Where us? Yeah. Where us where you rate your podcast.
Wow. Go to
Where else where you rate your
hotornot.com. Yeah.
podcast?
Wow.
And,
I remember one time I was listening to that Wall Street Journal What's News podcast every day, and they have a little saying at the end, which is it's something like and follow us wherever you get your podcast, or something like they say the same phrase every episode. And I remember I said that in one podcast. That was funny.
Yeah.
Self-promotion.
I don't know if anyone else.
Yeah. Good one,
Hilarious.
Jeff. Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it was good.
No, it was, no. I mean, last time you did that, we got a bunch of reviews and people like asking for fenders. And
Oh yeah.
So-
are you just patronizing me? Or are you serious?
I am serious.
Oh, wow.
People like screenshotted their review and like, hey, look, I reviewed the podcast. Where's my fender?
Wow.
Yeah. So no, don't say that again. I'm just kidding. If you should we tell them they can get a fender?
Yeah. We should tell them.
Yeah.
If you write a review on Apple Podcasts, screenshot it, send it to us any which way from Sunday.
Worldwide Cyclery.
At Worldwide Cyclery on Instagram. Send us the image there. We will give you a $15 discount code
Whoa.
Ooh.
for the Worldwide Cyclery site.
Wow.
And you can buy your own fender with the discount code.
That
That way
is
Jared doesn't
awesome.
have to input your shipping address because clearly he's jaded from that situation.
I know.
Genius.
Well,
Bitterness.
it was a logistic nightmare, as
It
you
was
call
just
it.
a nightmare. There's been a few times as our business has grown and
Yeah.
our media presence has grown
Yeah.
that I've seen Michael's laughing over here 'cause he's dealt with some of this. I've said things in YouTube videos like, "Oh, just do this and you'll get a free this,"
Yeah.
and then like the video drops and there's like hundreds of emails. And
Yeah.
There was no thought process behind this. People are like shooting me messages like, well, "What are we gonna do? How are we gonna ship these? What'd you tell these people?" Like, what? I was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think that through, guys." I didn't think that many people would see that or do that, and
Yeah.
so
So if
Discount
you're
code.
in the lower 48, no, I'm just kidding.
but see, that's where the codes you don't need disclaimers. Like you got a $15 off code. That's it. That's it. That's
We'll
all
give
we're
you a
doing.
code and you do whatever you want with
You
it.
figure it out from there,
Yeah.
please.
50 free shipping over $50.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
45.
45, sorry.
Congratulations on your win. Pay us some money.
You could though get in-store pickup. That's free.
Or just buy a $10 item and then you get the whole thing for free. You get a nice water bottle.
Oh.
And of course, pay the $1,000 shipping for Jeff to hand deliver it.
Ooh.
Yeah, see,
yeah.
you've
Yeah.
checked out on the site. You've seen that.
So
I know
you can
exactly what's
save your
happening.
money on the product, but just pay for the shipping to have Jeff come get
Can I pitch you an idea?
Yeah,
What if
go.
you had Calirado Kid delivery that was $1,001 on the website?
That is edgy.
No,
good
it can't be
idea.
higher than yours, can it? Yeah. Could it be $9.99 then?
$9.99.
In the local Sacramento area.
Oh my God.
Yeah, with a zip code limitation. Oh man,
Fantastic.
fantastic! Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate it, and we will talk to you guys on the next podcast.
Cheers.
Cheerio.
See you later.